it's LordShaedow on the mic. I play to win, never to lose. In the contest of champions, I'm the one they choose. Swipe, tap, my moves are slick. Dexterity more heavily, I dodge quick. Class champ, I'm the master of the game. Cosmic science, skill tech mutant I claim. Arena and chill grind, that's how I roll. No stress, no drama, just on patrol. In the fight, I'm swift, my tactics are tight. LordShaedow's in the arena, ready to ignite. From the streets to the screen, my skills are renowned. In the world of Marvel, I'm the king crown. So listen up, here's the story of the champ. LordShaedow's the name, I'm the grime track vamp.
Hey everyone, Shadow here, and welcome to another Marvel Contest of Champions video. So in this video, we are going to be looking at Nico Minoru. You may have heard about her. Maybe you think she's too hyped up, overhyped, not hyped up enough. We're gonna take a look at her kit, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this girl is awesome. And I'm hoping Kabam does not, adjust her. So first, let's take a look at her synergies. And I try to look at who the synergy is with as well as what the synergy does to see, how viable the synergy is. Now, right off the bat, she is synergized with Carolina, who is another awesome champion that I do not have. All right. So she gets a new pre-fight spell called Siphon. When the opponent finishes a special attack, Nico power steals 80% of their remaining power over 2 seconds and gains 50% of the power stolen. Wow. Wow. I can easily see myself pairing them up. So that's a win right there. Let's see. The next one, already right off the bat, I don't see myself using it. Magic, unless they bring her back, they said they're going to, as a 7-star after they adjust her. Scarlet Witch, she's still okay. And of course, the Sigil Witch. Let's see. So she gets a new pre-fight spell, Ritual. Consumes 30% of her current health. Ooh, I don't like cannibalizing. At the start of the fight and stores it as adrenaline. Okay, so she will get it back. All right. So that's not too bad. Let's see. West Coast, Best Coast. Uh-oh. Let's see. So out of here, Kate Bishop. I wonder if they're going to bring her as a 7-star. You got She-Hulk already as a 7-star. Werewolf by Night and Tigra, both are 7-stars. So the only one that's not a 7-star is Kate Bishop here. Let's see. These are only for the Synergy champions. During the opponent's special attacks, pause Hunter and Primal Senses, and up to 5 personal tracking, Fury, Unblockable, or Halt effects. Huh. Well, I'm not sure how useful that will be. But it looks more like these are synergies for them and not for her. So if you're going to be using any one of these, it might be useful to have Nico on the team. All right. And the last one. Okay, it's just 90 armor rating, block proficiency, energy resistance, and physical resistance. Wow, they're still using Hercules as much as they hate him. Loki. Okay, yeah, Hercules I can see myself using. Captain Britain, they just updated her. And she can be a surprisingly good defender. And of course, we got Black Cat. Yeah. Definitely some good ones, but, the synergy itself, I don't know. And whoever this will be is coming. All right. Let's take a look real quick at her tags. All right. You guys can look over here. Frightful. Is that because she's goth? All right. Let's take a look at her signature ability. And I don't know if I'm going to dump more Sig Stones into her just yet. I do have some others. I might wait and use that on someone else. We'll see. But whenever a buff or personal effect on the opponent other than poison is prevented or removed by immunity, she inflicts a poison passive for 12 seconds. And it stacks up to 20 times. Okay. So more Sig levels will increase the damage that poison passive does. All right. Personal effects on the opponent are paused during Nico's special attacks. Okay. So that's just going to increase the duration of, like, say, that poison passive or anything else that she has on them while she's firing her specials. She's not really that recoil friendly because, as you might see here, she likes to spam specials. All right. Now, if it's a short fight, it's not going to make that big of a deal. If it's a longer fight, you probably want to turn off your recoil. When Nico causes an attack to miss, she passively gains adrenaline. Ooh. I didn't know that, actually. Interesting. Okay. We're going to see later where that comes into play. Okay. Blood Mage, which is always active. All right, so as a defender, she stores 40% of all damage taken as adrenaline. And while she has more than 5% adrenaline stored, she gains an indefinite 15% Flourish passive. And that is what Flourish does. Increases her combat rate and ability power rate. Okay? Now, I was surprised when our war planner, BG leader, asked me to put Nico on defense. She's actually a good defender. I was surprised. I fought her, and she can be annoying. All right. When she activates any special attack, she passively converts up to, a certain amount of adrenaline to health. So remember that adrenaline that she saves, she's going to get it back when she fires specials. Again, she's very special oriented. Okay. And it depends on the level of the special attack. So special attack 1, she'll convert a certain amount. Special attack 2, she's going to convert more. All right. She starts each fight with 100% of the adrenaline she finished her previous fight with. Interesting. In the same quest. Personal Furies gained at this time gain 200% increased duration. Okay. Hex Girl, Buff Hunter. Her heavy attack, or heavy charge, and third light attack place an indefinite pentacle buff on the opponent. I know you want to know what that does. Represents the inherent harmony of the natural world, but has no in-game effect. So you ever see like the placebo buff and that type of thing? It's going to have a use, but it's not directly. Okay? When the opponent gains a buff, see, and that would count, Nico passively gains 2% of her max power. So putting those buffs on them is going to help her out, even though the buff itself doesn't do anything. When one or more buffs are prevented or removed by immunity, she gains 3%. Ooh, she doesn't like it when they try to stop her. I see that. Go on, girl. Nico doesn't benefit from the Mystic Dispersion Mastery. I kind of guessed that because they already have a power gain mechanic. So not surprised there. Instead, each rank increases the base potency of personal gains by 10%. Okay. So it just increases this second bullet point that you see here. All right. Passively gain 1% of missing health as adrenaline when a buff on the opponent is prevented or removed by immunity. Oh. And it has a very short cooldown. That explains something, because I was like, she's not really that recoil friendly, but I remember fighting with it on, and she didn't seem to be losing a lot of health, and I think it's because of who I was fighting. Okay. I got to pay attention to that. Nico can inflict a buff immunity. Now, this is huge. Okay. Affected champions are immune to buffs, and any active on application, meaning any buff that they have on when she fires her buff immunity, are going to be removed. And new ones can't be gained. So it's a way to remove all buffs and then prevent others. That is powerful. If Kabam did anything, I have a feeling they might mess with that, and I hope they don't. But this works very similar to Black Widow Clairvoyance buff immunity. Okay. Refreshed when Nico casts any special. It's easier to do special 1. Trying to build up to the special 2, it'll probably wear off, but we'll see what the special 2 does a little bit later on. As a defender, this is a passive instead. Ooh, nasty. Like I said, she's good. All right, so her pre-fight ability, she's magically bound to the Staff of One. Okay. Powerful artifact, can cast potent spells, yada, yada, yada. As a defender, she always casts Unworthy. Okay. Does that tell us anything? Okay, here we are, right here. So once per quest, and that's key. I learned that once per quest, she inflicts her personal buff immunity at the start of the fight. So that means these pre-fights, you can only use them once per quest. That is huge, by the way. I learned that the hard way. Absorb, she gains 55% stimulate. Okay, increases combat adrenaline by that 55%. Ward, she gains immunity to poison and rupture. So when I first saw that, I was thinking, oh, well, great. The liquid courage, that should get rid of that. It does. Once per quest. So that first fight that I put the pre-fight on, great. Next fight, I'm taking poison damage. Okay? And then you got that burn, and we mentioned that earlier. Her poison effects are replaced by incinerates and deal 30% reduced damage. Okay, now here, her heavy attack, and I have to learn to do more heavy attacks. The first hit consumes 7% of her current health. I always hate seeing that. But it stores it as adrenaline, meaning she's going to be able to get it back over time. On the final hit, or when canceling the attack with a special 1 or 2, gain a Zeal passive for 6 seconds. Prevents adrenaline from decaying while active. That is nice. I had someone recommend in my rotation to cancel. So do a heavy and then cancel into a special, and that is why. All right, so her special 1, it inflicts a halt passive, okay? Unstoppable champions react to hits as though they weren't. If that sounds familiar, it's what the grit passive does, like with Chilith, like with Dust, when she has the Sandstorm, like Beta Ray Bill, who a lot of people just aren't using these days, on his heavy. That is what this does. Very nice. So even if they have Unstoppable, it won't matter. Her special 1 gonna get them. All right. Refreshed when Nico casts any special attack. Does not apply if active. So if it's already active, it's active. The final hit deals a burst of energy damage, increased by 20% for each damaging effect on the opponent. Up to 10. This can trigger through the block. I've had that happen, and I was like, wow. Because I got scared. I fired off a special, and they blocked it. They went unstoppable and blocked it. Now I know why I still won. This girl is something, man. All right. As a defender, the total potency is reduced by 50%. Okay. After the final hit, Nico gains an invisibility. Woohoo! All right. So that's a 100% chance to miss, but just keep in mind, some champions have anti-miss counters. You know, one that people don't think about very often is Daredevils. The Daredevils have miss counters, but Photon has a miss counter. Serpent has a miss counter. So just bear that in mind. But remember what happens when she causes them to miss? Yeah. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right. And it's a passive. All right. If this causes an attack to miss, it goes on cooldown for 10 seconds. So you can't just spam the special one and expect to go invisible if it caused them to miss. I've had that happen, and I was like, what happened to my invisibility? All right. Each hit of the special 2 does a poison debuff for 30 seconds. Pause during the opponent's special attacks. So the more specials they do, the longer that poison's going to be on them. And it's dealing some good damage. If a cosmic opponent is immune to any of Nico's poison, she inflicts a matching acid burn. See what it does? It does basically what the poison would do. It deals damage and reduces their regeneration rate. Nasty. The final hit inflicts Nico's buff immunity. Remember I said we were going to talk about it a little bit later? So you can do the pre-fight and you'll get the buff immunity for that fight. The next fight, you don't have the pre-fight, but you can get the buff immunity by building to a special 2 first. Then you fire the special 2 and you can keep refreshing it with a special 1. Or you could just do a special 2 rotation if you don't really need the buffs to be, kept down. All right. So as a defender, this applies on activation. Okay. And then her special 3, she gains attack for every damaging effect on the opponent. They're going to have some damaging effects from Nico. All right. The first time this attack is used each fight, Nico increases the duration of personal effects by 50% for the rest of the fight. Man, let me tell you something. This girl is amazing. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you a fight with her, but I'm going to try to find a decent fight where you have to deal with buffs. All right. So we'll be right back. Okay. So I found this fight here. It's in the Crucible normal difficulty, not the legendary one. I just did one fight here, and I want to fight this Red Skull. Okay. Here are the buffs that are active on the node. Okay. See all that? And that poison vulnerability should look interesting. All right. So let's go ahead and bring her in. And I am still using the recoils, so I'm not sure how this fight's going to go. All right. We're going to activate her pre-fights because this is the one fight we want to use. Okay. And we certainly want the poison. That should help me out for this fight here. All right. Well, let's see. All right. So you see the buff immunity is up there. He's got no... let's refresh that. He's got no armor ups. Isn't that nice? Did y'all see that? Made him miss. There's the heavy attacks, which get her the Furies. That right into the block. Doesn't matter. Very nice. Well-controlled fight. You know how annoying he can be. Very well-controlled fight. I may have to make some other videos where you can see a little bit more of what she can do. But that is going to do it. Thank you all for watching. Hope this helps you out. Leave a comment below. Of course, we didn't do a lot of things like canceling into the special and all that stuff. But I'm going to make another video showcasing her a little bit better. All right? So take care. And you all have a blessed day.
Lord's moves are slick, dexterity more heavily, he dodged quick. Class champ, Lord the master of the game, cosmic science, skill tech mute I claim. Arena and chill grind, that's how he roll. No stress, no drama, just on patrol. In the fight, he's swift, his tactics be tight. LordShaedow's in the arena, ready to ignite.